Well, good afternoon and welcome to the CSUMB class of 2022 White Coat Ceremony for the Master of Science PA program at CSUMB. My name is Christopher Forrest. I'm professor and founding program director of the Master of Science Physician Assistant program. And I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of the students, their parents, family, friends, faculty, staff, and our esteemed colleagues from the university. Thank you all for attending this important event in the lives of our students. Before we get started, allow me to address a couple of logistics. As you may know, this event is being broadcast on YouTube and Facebook Live. Feel free to make congratulatory comments in the chat or post them on Facebook or YouTube. The technical experts working behind the scenes will make sure that the students receive your messages. If you haven't used Zoom before, you'll notice that one of the limitations that you'll realize is that you can't hear the applause of a crowd. Everything is silent and you can clap as much as you want and nothing can be heard. So a couple simple solutions to address this, because we really want to give applause to the candidates, is to use either the raise your hand feature on Zoom. Across the bottom of the Zoom panel, you'll see a hand. If you click on that, your hand will go up, and that is one way to express that you're clapping. The other one is to use sign language. And the sign language for clapping is merely putting both hands up and shaking them like this. So let's test this out by giving the students a round of applause. Excellent. If you would turn the page in the program, we'd like to recognize a few special guests. Representing the university are Dan Shapiro, Interim Associate Vice President for Academic Programs and Dean of the University College and Graduate Studies, and Dean John Binkley, Dean of Extended Education and International Programs. Do we have them on screen here? Yes. There we go. Would the two deans please wave their hands so we can all recognize you? Thank you so much. Next, we'd like to introduce the current and previous department chairs from the College of Health Sciences and Human Services, led by Dean Alan Hoffman. Dean Hoffman, if you'd make sure that your camera's on. There we go. And we have Kent Adams, Dr. Kent Adams from kinesiology. As I call your name, please raise your hand. Dr. Alyssa Erickson from nursing. Dr. Maria Garola from social work is unable to attend today. Dr. Vanessa Lopez Littleton from Health, Human Services, and Public Policy. And Dr. Daramola Cabral, who's a PA herself and a professor in the Health, Human Services, and Public Policy Department. Thank you, Daramola, for joining us. And last but not least are the directors and faculty of the Master of Science Physician Assistant program. Put this here. If you turn your cameras on, Dr. Steve Harrison, medical director for the Master of Science Physician Assistant program. All MSPA faculty, and Dr. Sadler, please turn your videos on. Dr. Fred Sadler, our new associate medical director and co-founder of the program. We welcome you, Dr. Sadler. Thank you for all that you've done for us.
Dr. Sadler.
I heard that behind the scenes there. Dr. Valerie Berry, assistant professor and didactic coordinator for the program. Kendra Carr, assistant professor and clinical coordinator for the program. Alex Duplantier, assistant professor and co-clinical coordinator. I believe Dr. Duplantier is not feeling well today, so she's possibly unable to attend here. Nicole Reichardt, assistant professor. And Michael Jorgensen, full-time instructor. So thank you all for joining us and for the wonderful contributions you've made to our students' educations. For those of you who've never attended a white coat ceremony, let me preface this by saying what you're about to witness here today is one of the most significant moments of these students' careers, one that they will never forget. I still remember my white coat ceremony. Wearing a white coat is an extraordinary opportunity and a privilege. It's transformative. In a matter of seconds, donning the white coat on a student changes their identity from that of a student to a caring, compassionate healthcare provider. Once that white coat is worn in the course of caring for patients, at the end of a busy day, a student can take off their white coat, but in a very real way, what it stands for can't ever leave them. This significance is something that we hold dear to us and we treasure in this white coat ceremony. To help us enter into this celebration, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Catherine Kantarjijev, the Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs at CSUMB. As the Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Kantarjijev provides academic leadership for the university, administering all aspects of the university's programs in the support of students and student learning. Let us welcome Dr. Kantarjijev with a round of virtual applause.
All right, I successfully unmuted myself. So thank you, Dr. Forrest, for that introduction, kind introduction. On behalf of the university, I have to say I am thrilled to welcome you all to the second annual White Coat Ceremony at California State University, Monterey Bay for the Master of Science Physician Assistant program. Not only is this the first for these particular students as they transit this important milestone and rite of passage, it is my first too as the provost at CSUMB. This is a significant day, not only for our nascent physician assistants, but for our entire university and the 23 campuses of the CSU system. Today marks the day that these students begin their clinical training and take that significant first step in addressing the shortage of healthcare providers in our Tri-County region. And since we all find ourselves in rather unprecedented times, I have to commend these students in particular. This past year, they have stretched themselves in every way as they responded to the persistent obstacles that COVID placed before them. And not only have they endured the unexpected challenges of learning almost exclusively online, but they've also taken responsibility for each other. They've built a strong cohort of friends and professional colleagues that will sustain them throughout their long and productive careers. The College of Health Sciences and Human Services was established 6 years ago by our university president, Eduardo Ochoa, who recognized the growth potential of the health sciences and human services fields and clearly saw the need for and the potential impact of healthcare providers in our highly underserved region. With the help of our generous sponsors and partners, this aspiration has become a reality. California State University, Monterey Bay is also very proud and indebted to our stalwart MSPA faculty. They quickly adapted to the restrictions of COVID, converted the program to an online learning platform, and found ways to modify the face-to-face technical instruction to fit into and be effective in this new teaching paradigm. With thorough didactic and clinical preparation that our students have received from these faculty and the experts in our community, our students are prepared to enter the supervised clinical practice phase of their training. I am privileged and proud to watch you all go out into the community as clinical practitioners. California State University, Monterey Bay looks forward to hearing impressive things, inspirational things about all of you and your work. Congratulations.
Next, I would like to invite Dr. Alan Hoffman, the Interim Dean of the College of Health Sciences and Human Services, to say a few words.
He needs to unmute. Can they unmute him? Oh.
Okay, can I be heard? Good. Well, greetings all. And little technical difficulty getting started, but let me say, as the interim dean of the College of Health Sciences, I want to welcome all. Welcome to the students and welcome to the faculty, to the staff, honored guests, to the family and friends, and welcome to the California State University Physician Assistant White Coat Ceremony. To all the family and friends that are assembled of the PA students, this is also your celebration. And in many ways, this is your white coat ceremony. Over the years, I've had the privilege and the honor of attending many white coat ceremonies. This is virtually my first virtual and white coat ceremony by electronic means. But in many ways, this underscores how change is now taking place throughout our culture, throughout our society, and particularly the healthcare system. To the student, you are the second entering class. You are pioneers. In many ways, you're trailblazers. You've endured quite a bit to get to this point, and as we launch you into this education, your perseverance is remarkable. But you're entering physician assistant education, and for that matter, on the heels of a global pandemic that has virtually stressed the entire system, and in many ways exemplified the need for physicians' assistants. This pandemic has clearly accentuated the need for kind, caring, competent practitioners. This pandemic and what's happening in our society has placed many, many physician assistants virtually on the front line of care. It's exemplified the need, for example, for primary care health professionals, in many ways underscored the dire need for you, for the education you're about to get, and for the delivery of healthcare. As a student, and ultimately as a practitioner, you have a common theme and a common bond with all physician assistants, and for that matter, all health professionals. The singular focus on patient care services. You are their advocate, you are their helper, you are their healer. As Dr. Forrest just mentioned, the white coat and its length are really a symbol of the very responsibility that you have, not only in terms of delivery of healthcare, but for continuous learning. I want to leave you with a very short story about a friend of mine who is a physician assistant. She's a teacher, a healer, and a practitioner. She had something framed behind her desk that I think is particularly relevant to the white coat ceremony. It was the words of Maimonides: "Deem me worthy of seeing in the sufferer who seeks my advice a person neither rich nor poor. Show me only the person, for the knowledge of healing is boundless. Any lapse in my knowledge can bring illness and harm." I think in many ways, these words illustrate that you are bound to perform your work each day at the very highest responsibility. So wear your white coat with pride, wear it with conviction, wear it with a sense of commitment and purpose. To all the students, I wish you much success in your educational journey, and I wish you much success in your professional career.
Thank you, Dean Hoffman. We appreciate that. Students, applause. Thank you. All right. Our next guest is our keynote speaker. That's PA Natalie Hauser. Now, I've had the privilege of knowing Natalie for over 10 years. She's recognized by pre-PA students across the country for her inspiring autobiography, The Compton Diagnosis. When she's not caring for patients in her community clinic or pursuing her doctorate, she speaks to aspiring PA students, inspiring them to overcome stumbling blocks, whether they're academic, financial, physical, mental, or social. Natalie has a special place in our program. She met with our students and offered support last year during the Black Lives Matter movement, and even counseled a number of students one-on-one. Because of that connection and her generous heart, the students selected her as their keynote speaker for today's event. Please give a warm welcome to PA Natalie Hauser.
Good afternoon, everyone. First, I would like to thank the class of 2022, Dr. Forrest, and the rest of the CSUMB team for having me today. Zooms can be a bit complicated, so before I get started, I'd like someone to please confirm that I do not have a cat filter on. Okay, cool. One of the things that's really impressive to me is that you're all still here. Your passion, your motivation, and your ability to be flexible has gotten you through a difficult year. And here you all are, ready to don your white coat as a symbol of transitioning into clinical training and your commitment to medicine. Let me tell you a little bit about my clinical rotation journey. I started with pediatrics, and on my first day, my supervising physician attempted to hand me a baby to do a physical exam. I immediately tucked my hands behind my back and shook my head, no. That didn't go over so well with my SP, but honestly, I didn't feel comfortable holding babies. It had been years since I held my niece, and the first time parents were staring me down, I was really intimidated. Eventually, my comfort level increased, and by the time I ended the rotations, the rotation, I was a peds master, and I knew for sure I wanted to go into peds once I finished school. But I got back to campus and I failed the end of rotation exam. You know, I thought the end of rotation exam was just something like no big deal, something to kind of test your knowledge. So I winged it. Boy, was I wrong. By the grace of remediation, I was able to advance to my next rotation, and I did over 100 pap smears. And then the next rotation, I was kicked out. Yeah, I was asked to leave a rotation. The story's a bit complicated, but bottom line, I saw my entire career flash before my eyes. I thought that all my hard work up until this point was for absolutely nothing. I never knew that getting dismissed from a rotation was a possibility, but I am here to tell you that it is. There were a few more good rotations mixed in there where I got to first assist on surgeries, learn internal medicine at one of the largest county jails in the country, and I was on a cardiothoracic team. Talk about morale booster. What I want you all to understand is that the same passion, motivation, and flexibility that got you here today, those three things will get you through your clinical rotations. Don your white coat with pride, hold the babies, study for your end of rotation exams, and use every single opportunity as a learning opportunity. Congratulations, good luck, and thank you.
Thank you. Waiting for the audio to come back on. Natalie, thank you. That your words are always inspirational, and I know that we're all very grateful that you gave of your time to come and be here with us. So thank you very much. The students have a very special presentation for you, and it's been somewhat held as a surprise, So I'd like to invite MSPA student Lila Kratom to come in and explain what this presentation is, and you'll all enjoy it.
Hi there. So my name is Layla Kratom. Thank you, Dr. Forrest, for the introduction. I am the creator of this class video. I compiled a bunch of photos and videos from all the students throughout the year. And I also created one of the songs that's featured in the video. This video essentially shows a glimpse of what our first year of PA school was like. And not only that, but also while in a pandemic, as everyone has so kindly mentioned. But the real purpose of the video is to show that although we endured a lot this year, we still came out of the experience so much stronger and having learned so much. And as a bonus, we gained a second family through it all. So I hope you all enjoy the video, and yeah, thank you.
Can we get some piano on here, please? Thank you. I woke up with the sun today, none is standing in my way. Time to let my heart astray, to a land way far away. Clouds clear and sunshine bright, love appeared before my eyes. When I thought was my demise, led me to my greatest heights. Cause when you know, with the flow you go. Like the morning glow, like the seed you grow. When it rains it pours, open all the doors. Get some on the floor, if you're mine I'm yours. Sometimes the one you trust is the one you should pay mine to. Now's the moment, it's our time. Finally made it to our prime. Every step was worth the climb. Time to up and claim our prize. Tonight is the night of nights. No going down without a fight. Break the rules, yeah, we just might. Long as we stay shining bright. Hey, got each other side by side. It's a journey, but we ride. Nothing can try to divide the spirit that we got inside. Tonight is the night of nights. No going down without a fight. Break the rules, yeah, we just might. Long as we stay shining bright, shining bright, shining bright. Long as we stay, long as we stay, long as we stay shining bright.
Hi friends, welcome.
Yeah, welcome to Zoom University.
I have to tell you that if a group of committed, intelligent, and diverse people, as I see on the screen today, in a profession that makes us or invites us at the end of a very long formative process to take an oath to do this, then if there's not hope for out of this kind of group, I worry about the world. But from what I see, I think the intentions are wonderful, and it is, as Ike said, a daily practice. And so I just wanted to share that that's where I find some hopefulness in this.
Layla, thank you so very much. Let's give the students a big hand for that. That was phenomenal. At this point, we'd like to invite the class president, Genesee Vialta, to come in and address the class and all the rest of us. It's traditional in a white coat ceremony for the class president or representative of the class to speak on behalf of the students. So with that, we welcome Genesee.
Thank you, Dr. Forrest, for the introduction. I'm a little teary-eyed right now, so excuse me. Thank you to all the speakers, faculty, friends, and family for joining us today to celebrate this momentous occasion. My name is Genesee Vialta, and I'm the class president of the CSUMB MSPA class of 2022. I have the very high honor and privilege to speak on their behalf today. So there's a saying amongst PA schools, and it goes, PA school is like drinking from a fire hose. Well, amidst global pandemic, fires, outages, social movements, Nathan's quarantine baking, and endless hours of Zoom, the last year of PA school was like drinking from the base of a waterfall. Yeah, as difficult as the last year has been, this class has more than overcome the obstacles the last year, and frankly, this year has already thrown at us. When the shelter-in-place mandate went into effect and we had just one day off to adjust, we used that day to even learn the intricacies of Zoom. When the fires ravaged our communities, we immediately volunteered to help those impacted. After the death of George Floyd, we not only chose to march for the social inequalities suffered by Black and communities of colors, but to also educate ourselves about the health disparities in these vulnerable populations so that we could be better providers for them. It's in these ways that I'm reminded of something Dr. Berry told us after our first final exams. She said that we had proven to be the students the faculty had selected not only because of our intelligence, extensive resumes, or years of devotion to the service of communities, but rather for our creativity, perseverance, flexibility, and most importantly, heart. It was through the texts, phone calls, shared study guides, breakout room catch-ups, and GroupMe messages, we recognized that we were a group of 30 individuals all striving for the same goal and that we were going to accomplish it together. It was in this unity that the heart of this program became palpable, even from miles away. And for that, I could not be more grateful to be proud to say that I am part of this cohort. While we have accomplished so much this past year, our accomplishments are not singular, but rather a testament to all of you here with us today. To our parents, wives, husbands, fiancés, partners, friends, family, mentors, faculty, and yes, even our fur babies, we thank you. For all the times that you answered our calls to talk us off ledges, to remind us of the journey that we had to embark to even get to PA school, and that we were more than capable of great achievement, we really thank you. To the friends that reminded us that there's a world outside of medicine and studying, who offered us breaks and laughs, we thank you. To the poor OSCE victims that watched our hands and voices shake as we used their bodies to learn the more intimate and personal side of medicine, we truly thank you. It's because of each of you and your undying support that we stand more confident, grounded, and capable as we move forward into the next phase of our PA education. This last year, we stood beneath the immense pressures of that waterfall, and we were molded by its waves. We learned to walk into the unknown and embrace it. It is with these new skills that we enter the next phase of our medical education with our heads held high, soon with white coats on, proud of the year that we have accomplished, and excited to see what amazing things we will achieve next. On behalf of my entire class, thank you so much. Now, before we move on, I would like to inform you all that CSUMB MSPA program is very unique in the fact that it has integrated medical Spanish into its curriculum. Some of my classmates, including myself, are bilingual and have family members joining us today that only speak Spanish. So as a nod to the program and to our families, I would like to repeat my speech in Spanish. Dicen que ir a la escuela de asociado médico es como beber de una manguera contra incendios. Sin embargo, en medio de pandemia global, incendios, cortes de energía, movimientos sociales y tantas horas enfrente de la computadora, el pasado año en la escuela fue como tomar agua de la base de una cascada. Pero, a pesar de lo difícil que ha sido el año pasado, esta clase ha superado las dificultades. Cuando entró en vigencia el mandato de refugio en el lugar y solamente tuvimos un día de descanso, tomamos ese día para aprender cómo usar Zoom. Cuando los incendios devastaron nuestras comunidades, inmediatamente nos ofrecimos como voluntarios para ayudar a los afectados. Después de la muerte de George Floyd, no solo optamos por marchar por las injusticias raciales, sino también para educarnos sobre las disparidades de salud en estas poblaciones vulnerables, para que podamos ser mejores proveedores para ellos. Es de estas maneras que recuerdo algo que la doctora Berry nos dijo al final de nuestros primeros exámenes. Ella dijo que habíamos demostrado ser los estudiantes seleccionados por la facultad. Seleccionados no solamente por nuestra inteligencia, extensos currículos o años de devoción al servicio de nuestras comunidades, pero escogidos por nuestra creatividad, perseverancia y flexibilidad. Y más importante, el corazón. A través de los mensajes de texto, las llamadas telefónicas, las guías de estudio compartidas, reconocimos que éramos un grupo de 30 individuos luchando por la misma meta y que lo íbamos a lograr juntos. Fue en esta unidad que el corazón de este programa se hizo palpable, incluso desde millas de distancia, y por eso no podría estar más agradecida o orgullosa de decir que yo soy parte de este cohorte. Si bien hemos logrado mucho el año pasado, nuestros logros no son singulares, sino más bien un testimonio de todos ustedes aquí con nosotros hoy. A nuestros padres, esposos, novios, amigos, familiares, mentores, profesores y si hasta las mascotas, les damos las gracias. Para las personas que siempre contestaron nuestras llamadas telefónicas, para darnos sus bendiciones y recordarnos el viaje que tuvimos que emprender para llegar a la escuela de asociado médico y que somos más que capaces de lograr grandes logros. Se los agradecemos. A los amigos que nos recordaron que hay un mundo fuera de la medicina y el estudio, que nos ofrecieron descansos y risas, se los agradecemos. A las pobres víctimas del OSCE, que vieron temblar nuestras voces y nuestras manos, mientras usábamos sus cuerpos para aprender el lado más íntimo y personal de la medicina. Se los agradecemos. Es gracias a cada uno de ustedes y su apoyo que nos mantenemos más seguros, fundamentados y capaces a medida que avanzamos hacia la siguiente fase de nuestra educación. Este último año estuvimos bajo las inmensas presiones de esa cascada y fuimos moldeados por sus olas. Aprendimos a caminar hacia lo desconocido y abrazarlos con brazos abiertos. Es con estas nuevas habilidades que ingresamos a la siguiente fase de nuestra educación médica, con las cabezas bien altas, pronto con batas blancas, orgullosos del año que logramos y emocionados de ver qué cosas increíbles lograremos a continuación. De parte de toda mi clase, muchas gracias. Thank you so much.
Genesee, qué lindo fue su testimonio. Muchísimas gracias. We thank you very much for your testimony. It was just beautiful. Very nicely done. We give you plenty of applause for that. And we thank all the families for all their support. At this point, I'd like to invite the students and their loved ones to be prepared to don the coats as I call your names. So we'll just give you a minute to make sure that you're in place. While the students are getting in place, I'm seeing a number of things in the chat, comments on this last speech saying it was beautiful and amazing and excellent. Very nicely done, Genesee. All right. So at this point, as I call your name, the spotlight will be on you as far as the donning of the coats. I'm going to turn my video off so that you can take the front stage. The first student is Angel Acevedo, being coded by his fellow colleagues Jorge Arizmendi and Sam Key. The next student is Alexandria Aliotti, being coded by her mother, Roseanne Aliotti. The next student is Mona Ameli, being coded by her husband, Hamid Ameli. The next student is Jorge Arizmendi, being coded by his fellow colleagues, Sam Key and Angel Acevedo. The next student is Taylor Ash, being coded by her father, Warren Ash, and partner, David Fernandez. The next student is Clay Christensen, being coded by his mother and father, Marguerite and John Christensen. The next student is Hannah Dalpra, being coded by her mother, Mary Lee Dalpra. The next student is Dulce Escobar, being coded by her father and mother, Juan and Amparo Escobar. An entire family behind. Love it. The next student is Samuela Fanua. Samuela is being coded by his wife, Pearlie Shell Fanua, and mother, Doreen Fanua. The next student is Louisa Frazier, being coded by their partner, Justin Abrahimi. Oh, there we go. The official dance. The next student is Lauren Fry, being coded by her brother, Scott Fry. The next student is Caroline Gerstad, being coded by her sister, Catherine, and mother, Deanne Gerstad. Yay. The next student is Brandon Gwynvark, being coded by partner Samantha Shoup. The next student is Lawrence Ham, being coded by father and mother Miguel and Linda Ham. The next student is Sam Key, being coded by fellow colleagues Angel Acevedo and Jorge Arizmendi. The next student is Layla Kratom, being coded by her mother, Samantha Kratom. The next student is Haley Litton, being coded by father and mother, Gary and Debbie Litton. The next student is Julianne Matesky, being coded by her parents, Frank and Lori Matesky. The next student, Michael Medina, being coded by his fiancee, Carissa Aguiar. The next student, Ashley Miller, being coded by her husband, CJ Miller. The next student is Denise Ochoa, being coded by her father and mother, Angeles and Jessica Ochoa. The next student is Lindsay Parker, being coded by her mother, Carol Parker, and father, Jerry Parker, and partner, Bobby Pels. The next student, Joanna Piermont, being coded by her father, John, and mother, Dominique Piermont. The next student is Taylor Pisano, being coded by her fellow colleagues, Natalie Moshe and Hannah Dalpra. The next student is Isaac Ralphs, being coded by his wife, Sil Ralphs. The next student, Caitlin Reed, being coded by her father and mother, Ellen and Carol Reed. With entire family and furry friends in the background. The next student is Genesee Villalta, being coded by her father and mother, Santos and Reina Villalta. Felicidades. The next student, Elry Villanueva, being coded by her fiance, Joshua White. Love it, high family, yes. The next student, Jonathan Villarreal, being coded by his mother and father, Bernadette and Joe Villarreal. The next student, Katie Yegorova, being coded by her mother, Nelia Melanchuk. Thank you all so much, families and friends. You've just made this a very special day for the students. We really appreciate this. At this point, we'd like to invite one of our esteemed faculty, Michael Jorgensen, to lead the students in the physician assistant oath, with Dulce Escobar responding on behalf of the students. Michael, would you like to say a little something before you begin the oath?
All right, the Zoom world. I just said in the chat box that was worth the wait. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Forrest. So just real quick, just to preface the significance of the PA student oath, I just have a little thing here. The significance of the physician assistant student oath is the acknowledgement of the student's transition to a greater responsibility. To provide medical care is a sacred duty. And up until now, the students have trained with simulated patients, some furry. But the next time they will apply their stethoscopes, it will be upon a real patient under the supervision of the preceptors. During the oath, we ask all physician assistant faculty and any PAs in the audience to join us in reciting the oath. Doing so not only symbolizes our solidarity with this class, but as a reminder that we will always be students of the progression of medicine. Dulce, as you know, you will repeat the oath as a representative of all your classmates today who cannot be heard due to our COVID circumstance. That means all that hard work by Julianne, Lauren, Louisa, the Taylors, both of them, Samuela, Ike, Caitlin, Michael, Lindsay, the list goes on. All 30 wonderful smiles and eager souls you speak on behalf of today. I know we both truly wish we could hear them all today. Lastly, I want you to know that it was the honor of my career for your class to ask me to lead you in this oath today. So Dulce, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, then please raise your right hand and repeat after me. As a physician assistant student,
As a physician assistant student,
I dedicate my efforts to the study and practice of medicine.
I dedicate my efforts to the study and practice of medicine.
I will learn to practice my art with competence, kindness, and honor.
I will learn to practice my art with competence, kindness, and honor.
I will seek knowledge and skills to benefit my patients.
I will seek knowledge and skills to benefit my patients.
I will work to create a culture that values relationships.
I will work to create a culture that values relationships,
including those with patients, with physicians, and the healthcare team.
including those with patients, with physicians, and the healthcare team.
I will seek guidance from my mentors, acknowledge my limitations, and own my actions.
I will seek guidance from my mentors, acknowledge my limitations, and own my actions.
I will appreciate the needs of all, exercising empathy and compassion.
I will appreciate the needs of all, exercising empathy and compassion.
I will strive to avoid bias and treat all lives with dignity and respect.
I will strive to avoid bias and treat all lives with dignity and respect.
I will use my skills and knowledge for good.
I will use my skills and knowledge for good.
I will care for myself and my classmates through challenges ahead.
I will care for myself and my classmates through challenges ahead.
And lead by example to my patients and peers.
And lead by example to my patients and peers.
I will embody the highest standards of professionalism.
I will embody the highest standards of professionalism.
As a student of California State University, Monterey Bay.
As a student of California State University, Monterey Bay.
I pledge to be a positive representative.
I pledge to be a positive representative.
To my community and beyond.
To my community and beyond.
I don this white coat as a physician assistant student.
I don this white coat as a physician assistant student.
And humbly accept.
And humbly accept.
The privileges and responsibilities of the study and practice of medicine.
The privileges and responsibilities of the study and practice of medicine.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was beautiful. There's something refreshing and sobering about hearing the oath and making that again. Thank you, Michael, for leading us in that, and Dulce for emulating it from the students. So thank you both very much. What an amazing experience so far. But we haven't finished yet. The students have selected a very special family member for the closing remarks. Dr. Valerie Berry serves as the didactic coordinator for the program, guiding much of the curriculum. A lot of her work is not necessarily seen on the surface, but she has more teaching contact hours with the students in the first year than any other faculty member. She is loved by the students and highly respected by the faculty. It is my honor to present Dr. Valerie Berry for the closing remarks.
Thank you, Christopher. And great to see you, students. So I was just reflecting that it was on a Thursday in the middle of March last year A day somewhat similar to this one, early rain that cleared by afternoon. But the last time we met face to bare face. That was the last time you made coffee in the student lounge, sat at your desks, elbow to elbow, a frightening thought now. And the last time I got whiteboard dust all over my hands. And the last time I had direct knowledge of what you were wearing from the waist down. As you know, how I like to frame things in time, the moon was waning 3 days past full. And the next day, which happened to be Friday the 13th, I wrote on the page of my calendar, COVID day 1, isolation, worries, unknowns. And I kept it up. Every day that we have lived since then, I have written on my calendar the COVID day. Today, and actually it sits just over my shoulder, can't see it, when I lecture here at Zoom. So today I wrote on my calendar COVID day 337. And the word I wrote was gratitude. You are about to pivot from those COVID day 1 words, isolation, worry, unknowns. Today's, that will be the opposite. Days over full with going to new locations. You'll be going to hospitals, clinics, near and far. And you'll be meeting lots of people, and you'll be engaged in the business of hands-on patient care. And perhaps the worries will be different and fewer. And thanks to the immunizations you've recently received, that must be a great worry that's relieved. Perhaps you've settled into the known unknowns, where this disease is just one of many that you will recognize and learn how to manage. One thing is certain, you are needed immediately, and a grateful community waits. As for a little elaboration on my sentiments of COVID day 337, I'll close with this story. I have a friend who is not in medicine. She's an artist, and she's in her 80s. She lives alone in a small apartment in San Francisco. The other day, she wrote to say that she had walked across Market Street to a mass vaccination center, not unsimilar to all the volunteering that you did out in parking lot 59 to start the wave of healing. And for my friend, it was the first time in nearly a year that she had felt the touch of another person's hands. She wept, and her volunteer vaccinator wept to see her weeping. There may have been a white coat in the scene, but all she remembers is the hope that flooded into her with that skilled human touch. And during the walk home, she thought with each step, thank you, thank you. Well, that just about sums up my feeling here. Gratitude for being able to share this day with you and your families, and all the days it took to get here, and the days that will follow. Wear your coats with pride, and I know that you'll do me proud and continue filling your pockets with wisdom. But remember, the most valuable thing is the caring human inside. So with that, I'll let Christopher wrap up the final goodbyes, and we'll see you out in the community. Thank you for attending.
Thank you, Dr. Berry. That was beautiful. We want to thank you all for coming. This has been a wonderful event. And as we said at the very beginning, this is one that's extremely important to each of the students that participated in this white coat ceremony today. And you, as their families, friends, loved ones, have played a very valuable role in getting them to this point and supporting them through the rest of their education and their career. And so we thank you for being there to support them. And we will do our best to continue to guide them along. But more than anything else right now, I wish everyone a fun time celebrating with your families and friends, and have a great evening. Take care.